My name is Maya Richardson. I'm 30 years old, and 3 days ago, I watched my entire world collapse through a kitchen window. I was standing at my sink, washing dishes, when I saw my husband Derek wrap his arms around my younger sister Janelle in our backyard. But this wasn't a casual hug. His hands lingered on her waist. Her head rested on his chest, and they stood there, swaying slightly, holding each other in a way that made my stomach drop. I dropped the plate I was holding. It shattered in the sink, but neither of them heard it. They were too wrapped up in each other to notice me watching from 20 feet away. That moment changed everything. But here's what they didn't know. I'm not the type of woman who screams and cries and falls apart. I'm the type who stays calm, thinks clearly, and plans carefully. And by the time I confronted them 48 hours later, I had already planted something that would destroy them both. Let me take you back to the beginning. Derek and I met when I was 25. I was working as a medical billing specialist at a hospital in Atlanta. He was a pharmaceutical sales rep who came through my department twice a month. Tall, charming, always had a smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. We got married 2 years later. Small wedding, close family, nothing fancy. My sister Janelle was my maid of honor. She was 23 then, fresh out of college, trying to figure out her life. She'd always looked up to me growing up. I was the responsible one, the one who had it all together. Or so I thought. Derek and I bought a house in the suburbs. 3 bedrooms, nice yard, white picket fence and all that. We talked about kids someday, maybe getting a dog first. Life felt stable, predictable, safe. About a year ago, Janelle went through a rough breakup. She called me crying, saying she couldn't afford her apartment anymore and needed a place to stay for a few weeks while she got back on her feet. I didn't even hesitate. Of course you can stay with us, I told her. We have that extra bedroom. Stay as long as you need. Derek agreed. Family's family, he said. We'll help her out. That was 12 months ago. Janelle never left. At first, everything seemed fine. She got a job at a salon doing nails, started saving money, helped out around the house. The 3 of us would have movie nights, cook dinner together, laugh about stupid stuff. But looking back now, I can see all the signs I missed. The way Derek started coming home later, saying he had client meetings that ran long. The way Janelle would suddenly have plans whenever I suggested we have a girls' day together. The inside jokes they started sharing that I wasn't part of. 3 months ago, I noticed Derek's phone habits changed. He started taking it everywhere, even to the bathroom. He'd flip it face down on the table during dinner. When I asked him about it, he'd get defensive. Why are you checking up on me, Maya? You don't trust me now. I let it go. I didn't want to be that wife, you know. The suspicious, paranoid one. 2 months ago, I found a receipt in Derek's jacket pocket. Dinner for 2 at this fancy Italian restaurant downtown. The date was a Tuesday night, a night he told me he was working late. When I asked him about it, he said it was a business dinner with a client. But something in his voice felt off, like he was reading from a script. 1 month ago, I woke up at 2 a.m. and Derek wasn't in bed. I went downstairs and found him on the couch, texting someone. The screen went dark the second he saw me. Just checking work emails, he said. At 2 a.m.? Really? But I still didn't put it together. I didn't want to believe what my gut was telling me. Then came last Thursday, the day everything shattered. I came home early from work. I'd had a migraine all afternoon, and my boss told me to go rest. I walked into an empty house. Derek's car was in the driveway, but I didn't see him inside. I went to the kitchen to get some water, and that's when I looked out the window. Derek and Janelle were standing by the oak tree in our backyard, the same tree where Derek proposed to me 5 years ago. And they were holding each other in a way that siblings-in-law definitely shouldn't. His hands were on her lower back, drawing her close. She had her arms wrapped around his neck. They were whispering to each other, foreheads almost touching. Then I saw him lean down and whisper something in her ear that made her smile and hold him tighter. I watched for maybe 30 seconds, but it felt like hours. The way they fit together. The comfort in their body language. This wasn't new. This had been happening for a while. I felt my knees go weak. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. But I didn't scream. I didn't run outside. I didn't confront them. Instead, I grabbed my phone, opened the camera app, and I recorded everything. I recorded the way he touched her hair, the way she looked up at him with those eyes, the way they held each other like They were the only two people in the world. I recorded it all with shaking hands and tears streaming down my face. When they finally pulled apart, I ducked away from the window. I heard the back door open a few seconds later. I was in the bathroom by then, splashing cold water on my face, trying to look normal. "Maya, you home?" Derek called out. "Yeah, just got back," I said, my voice somehow steady. Wasn't feeling great, so I left work early. He came to the bathroom door, looked at me with those same brown eyes I'd fallen in love with 7 years ago. "You okay, babe? You need anything?" I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something at him, but instead I smiled. "I'm fine. Just need to rest." "Okay. Let me know if you need me." The audacity. The absolute audacity. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed next to Derek, listening to him breathe, and I felt like I was lying next to a stranger. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them together. My husband, my baby sister. But instead of falling apart, something else happened. I got angry. Not the screaming, throwing things kind of angry. The cold, calculated kind. The dangerous kind. I started planning. Friday morning, I called in sick to work. As soon as Derek left for his job and Janelle left for the salon, I got to work. First, I went through Derek's phone records online. Our phone plan was in my name, so I had access to everything. I pulled up 3 months of text message logs and call histories. I couldn't see the content of the texts, but I could see the numbers and timestamps. There it was. Hundreds of texts between Derek and Janelle. Calls at weird hours. Late-night conversations that sometimes lasted over an hour. I printed everything. Next, I checked our credit card statements. That Italian restaurant. He'd been there 4 times in the last 2 months. Always on nights, he said he was working late. And I cross-referenced the dates with Janelle's work schedule that she kept on the fridge calendar. She'd been working late, those same nights. I printed those too. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I set up our old baby monitor camera in the living room, hidden behind some books on the shelf. If they were doing this in my house, I needed proof. But here's the thing that would really destroy them. I didn't just want evidence. I wanted witnesses. I called my mom. Told her I needed her to come visit on Sunday for a family dinner. She lives 2 hours away, but she said she'd be there. I called Derek's brother Marcus. Told him the same thing. Family dinner, Sunday at 6 p.m. Please come. I even called my Aunt Patricia, my dad's sister who basically raised me after my dad passed. She's a lawyer, sharp as a knife, doesn't take nonsense from anyone. Nobody questioned it. Sunday family dinners weren't unusual for us. Saturday, I checked the baby monitor footage on my laptop, and there they were. Derek came home early. Janelle was already there. They were on my couch, sitting way too close. His arm around her shoulders, her head on his chest, holding hands, whispering and laughing like they were a couple. At one point, he brushed her hair back from her face in this tender way that made me want to throw up. That's something he used to do to me. Our thing. And he was doing it with my sister. I couldn't watch anymore. I just saved the file and closed the laptop. I had everything I needed. Sunday came. I spent all afternoon cooking. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread. All Derek's favorites. All the foods my family loved. At 5:30, I set the dining room table. Used our good dishes, the ones we got as wedding gifts. Lit candles. Put on the dress Derek bought me for our anniversary last year. Janelle came downstairs around 5:45, looking confused. "What's all this for?" "Family dinner," I said, smiling. "Everyone's coming over." She looked nervous. "Good." Derek got home at 5:50. "Wow, babe, this looks amazing." "What's the occasion?" "Just wanted to bring everyone together," I said. "Is that okay?" "Yeah, of course." "Smells incredible." At 6 o'clock sharp, my mom arrived. Then Marcus. Then Aunt Patricia. Everyone gathered around the table, complimenting the food, talking and laughing. And that's when I stood up. "Before we eat," I said, my voice calm and clear, "I need to show you all something." I pulled out my phone, connected it to our TV, and pressed play on the video from Thursday. The room went silent. Everyone watched Derek and Janelle holding each other in our backyard. The intimate way they touched. The whispers. The way they looked at each other. My mom gasped. Marcus's jaw dropped. Aunt Patricia's eyes went cold. When the video ended, I pulled up the laptop footage from Saturday. The couch, the cuddling, the hand-holding, the tender touches, the betrayal happening in my own home. Janelle started crying immediately. Maya, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Derek stood up, face pale. Maya, let me explain. Sit down, Aunt Patricia said, her voice like ice. Both of you. I laid out the phone records on the table, the credit card statements, the restaurant receipts, 3 months of lies, all printed and documented. This is what I planted before confronting you, I said, looking directly at Derek, then at Janelle. Evidence, witnesses, truth. My mom was crying. Marcus looked disgusted. Aunt Patricia was already pulling out her phone, probably texting her lawyer friends. Derek tried to make excuses, said it just happened, said he still loved me, said they never meant for it to go this far. How far did it go? Marcus asked, his voice hard. That's between me and my lawyer now, I said, cutting Derek off before he could answer. Janelle kept sobbing, saying she never meant to hurt me, that it started as just talking, then emotional support, then it became something else. You lived in my house, I said to her, my voice shaking now. I gave you everything. A place to stay, a family, trust, and you repaid me by going after my husband. I didn't mean. You meant every second of it, I interrupted. Every text, every secret dinner, every moment you two stole while I was at work trusting you both. I turned to Derek. And you. You stood at an altar and made vows to me, in front of God and family, and you broke every single one. He tried to reach for my hand. I pulled back. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. Aunt Patricia stood up. Maya, honey, you need to pack a bag and come stay with me tonight. These two need to be out of this house by tomorrow morning. This is my house, I said firmly. I'm not leaving. They are. Derek started to protest. Maya, we can work this out. There's nothing to work out, I said. I want you both out of my house by tomorrow. Derek, my lawyer will contact you about the divorce. Janelle, you're no longer my sister. My mom tried to speak. Maya, please, maybe if we all just... Mom, if you defend them right now, you can leave too, I said, and I meant it. She closed her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Marcus walked over and put his hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry, Maya. I had no idea. I'll make sure he's out tomorrow. Janelle was still sobbing. Derek looked like he'd been hit by a truck, but I felt nothing but cold determination. They had betrayed me in the worst possible way, and I made sure that when the truth came out, there was nowhere for them to hide. That was 3 days ago. Derek's staying at a motel. Janelle moved in with our cousin across town because Mom couldn't even look at her. The whole family knows now. Derek's parents called to apologize. Janelle's friends from the salon have been messaging me, saying they had no idea. I'm still in our house. My house now. And yeah, I'm hurt. I'm angry. Some nights I cry myself to sleep. Some mornings I wake up and forget for a second. Then it all comes crashing back. But I'm also strong. I'm also standing. I'm also free. Because the worst thing they could have done was underestimate me. They thought I was too trusting, too kind, too naive to see what was right in front of me. But I saw everything. I documented everything. And I made sure that when I finally confronted them, there was no way they could lie their way out. No way they could gaslight me. No way they could make me doubt what I knew was true. I'm 30 years old. I have my whole life ahead of me. And it starts now without either of them in it. That hug I saw through the window, it didn't destroy me. It woke me up. And what I planted, the evidence, the witnesses, the truth, that's what destroyed them. Sometimes the quietest revenge is the most powerful. I didn't scream. I didn't break down. I didn't give them the satisfaction. I just documented, planned, and executed. And now I'm free.